Well, to what extent did you have to create new characters and new situations in making allowance for the musical form?
There are no new characters, and the new situations are simply because in a musical you have more fluidity and you have more scenes. You could show more than you did in the original play. But
also, you changed the concept of at least 2 and maybe 4 of the people.
Oh, yes, I changed. Yeah, but I didn't add or subtract. I changed some of the characters. I think they're better than they were in the original. The middle-aged tourist couple is not as corny, I hope, and the young couple are better than they were in the original. Also, in the original, I think I gave the Italians, forgive me, Benny, I think I gave them too much the best of it, and here the Americans also have their say.
Well, I am reminded, I don't know if I should mention any other musical, even one that's 30 years old, when I think of Do I Hear a Waltz, of a very enchanting musical of many years ago called The Cat and the Fiddle. I guess I date myself, but it was a musical that earned the adjectives that the critics have been kind enough to bestow upon Do I Hear a Waltz, which was, and what made me think of it, Mr. Sondheim, was you were saying this is an intimate musical rather than a loud, brassy one.
It's intimate, incidentally, not just because of the, let's say, lack of noise, because you can have a fairly noisy show and still be intimate. It's intimate in scope. That is, it concentrates, it focuses on the relationships between a small number of characters. And, for example, I always consider Gypsy an intimate musical. It's a musical about 3 people. I consider My Fair Lady an intimate musical. It's a musical about 2 people, as opposed to a musical about a whole town or about a whole large group. That's all. It's that the focus is small. We actually have quite a large cast. We use the other people only almost as set dressing in the sense that they represent the life that's going on that affects the main characters indirectly. But it's intimate that way.
To what extent did you use The Time of the Cuckoo as a point of reference or departure in the preparation of Do I Hear a Waltz?
Well, you know, you start with it and then try to cut it to the strongest emotional moments and cut out. In a play there's much more palaver and there's much more leading up to things. In a musical you have to get to it and run from it as quickly as possible. It's a shorthand form of writing, basically, musicals.
Well, of course, the job of the set designer in creating the original The Time of the Cuckoo is quite different from the challenge to Mr. Montresor in this one.
Yeah, the original had one thing, the backdrop, which was meant to look like a reflection, I always thought looked drunk. And I must say, nobody in the audience knew what the devil was going on.
Yeah, we have that here, don't we? Isn't this from the original, from the
Yes,
The Time of the Cuckoo?
Still looks drunk.
Yeah, well, it looked even drunker because through those windows, the designer originally had kind of chandeliers and tables, and everything was careening around, and you thought there was some mad, wild party going on up there.
And now here your Leona was Shirley Booth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this then became Summertime, 1955, was it?
It half became Summertime.
Now, was this was the set for...
That's their version of the garden. I say half became. They did only the first act of the play. Miss Hepburn, after they finished it, she invited me to tea and she said, I don't know whether you like it because there are several changes, including the last scene where the man tells off the woman. And she said, I wouldn't let any man tell me off. She said, I wouldn't give you 10 men for any one woman. And she was never told off in the picture, that is.
And now coming to its current version, its third version, Mr. Montresor, in beginning to create what the audience sees, because here is the additional excitement for the audience, I think, in going to a musical. They're interested in how it sounds and what the story is, but they're also interested and excited about what they're going to see. You begin with a rendering, is that the correct technical word?
Yes. Rough sketches.
And
Sketches.
Rough.
Unfortunately,
Beautiful.
impressionistic. Unfortunately, we cannot show the colors here because I think the colors are very important. The most important thing. Do you think so?
I think it's all. I think it's some of the most beautiful scenery there's ever been on Broadway.
And Benny's
Thank you.
sketches are small works of art in themselves. I've never seen sketches for sets that are as much delight in and of themselves.
well, now, in starting those, you started from your feeling about the play?
I read the script, and at that moment I didn't know if I was going to do it, because it was my first Broadway show, and they said he never worked on Broadway. And so I read, and I want to do it so much because just reading the script, everything was there. I said I want to do it, and so I was in my place waiting for 1 month to hear from the people if they want.
Well, what would you say are the basic things that you were working toward when you started these sketches that you have here?
Yes. This is the curtain show, the opening of the musical. All the sceneries are painted on screen, and so by changing or lighting, one scene disappears and another one comes in. This is the curtain show. After this, we see, by transparency, Leona arrive in Venice. This is the view of the Grand Canal, who dissolve into, in front of the audience, all this happened, dissolve into Piazza San Marco. Yes. And then after this, street of Venice.
Now, this
And
is the
the-
Venice that every American feels he knows, whether he has been there or not.
And then at this
one
moment,
thing-
we start to meet Venetian people too. They come, a big ensemble number. And this is the garden, pensione, where the real story started. This is inside the pensione with red wallpaper. And this, even this one, at a certain moment, become transparent. You see outside. This is the shop of a Venetian man. This one is the pensione outside. It's the opening of the second act. This is another view of the pensione outside.
Now, as you said yourself, well, these are lovely, and I think we sense even from the screen the gossamer quality that you have created here. I wish camera 3 were in color today, so that the colors that Mr. Montresor puts into the
color.
Now, this set that we have just seen of sketches heightens what you said about the things that you can do in a musical, which you didn't do because of the restrictions of the stage itself when you wrote the original play.
Oh, yeah, particularly with the whole scenic scheme that Benny has. It's terribly simple to go from one place to another. And it really is extraordinary to see on the stage what amounts to a dissolve, such as we have in movies. It's breathtaking when it goes from that canal to the piazza. It looks like some trick, and you're not quite sure how it happened. It really is marvelous.
It happened just by a change of lighting. So.
Well, now we've been talking about the book, of how the play became a book, and how Mr. Lawrence survived what he's had to do to his play. And we've spoken of the approach to the lyrics and music of Mr. Sondheim and Mr. Rogers, and now we see the setting. Now, how about the talents of the players? Leona is in her third incarnation. You have had a feeling for all three of these because she's your creation, Mr. Lawrence. How about Elizabeth Allen as compared or contrasted with Shirley Booth and Katharine Hepburn?
All three are different. And Liz, of course, something I think is extraordinary about her performance that she, first of all, she really sings. The whole company sings extraordinarily well, which is very rare, as you know, in a musical these days. She's extraordinarily skillful as an actress, particularly for somebody as young as she is, and as relatively inexperienced. I mean, she has had experience, but not anything comparable to what Shirley or Kate did at the time they played it. The man, Sergio Franchi, who has a marvelous singing voice, but had very little acting, and I think he's terribly good. As a matter of fact, I really think that it is about the best acting company that's ever been in a musical.
Hear, hear. Absolutely.
They really are marvelous. And what's extraordinary is that they can all sing.
And sing really well. I mean, not just
Croak out a tune.
Now, I understand that the audience gets a terrific bang out of the joy and the fun and the humor of the lyrics. So if Mr. Sondheim will hide his face, would you comment to us about the lyrics? Because they're really something, are they not?
Oh, they're really marvelous, and he thinks the audience doesn't listen to lyrics. But it's really extraordinary. The laughs, for one thing. I've never heard an audience laugh as much and as loud and as long as they do at his lyrics in this show.
Audiences don't listen to lyrics, incidentally, very much.
I think they do, because they love
Because they have so much to take in. You have to take in music and lyrics
You
and
mean
a
if they
situation
don't hear your
and a
lyrics,
voice.
you have to blame it on Mr. Montresor and Mr. Rogers?
No, I don't blame
I think
it
we'd
on
argue
anybody.
with you.
I
Seriously.
think they don't listen 9 times out of 10 for the right reason. The song starts and it says, "When you took my hand," and they say, "Yes, you took my hand, we fell in love, all right, let's get through this song." But Steve's lyrics always have a development of what has been said in the scene. They always carry it further. They're always written in the diction of the character. I mean, not only funny, I think it's easier to be clever than it is to carry a character further. And I think he's the only one who can do it today.
Well, gentlemen, I hope we're going to have the pleasure of inviting you back to Camera 3 on the first anniversary of Do I Hear a Waltz? It opened recently at the 46th Street Theater and has been delighting audiences since its opening and promises to go on delighting audiences for a long time to come. And our thanks to Arthur Lawrence, who wrote the book for Do I Hear a Waltz, to Stephen Sondheim, who is responsible for the lyrics, who Mr. Taubman in the Times referred to as "the lines are witty," and with a compliment to Mr. Richard Rogers, "the tune bounces." And to Mr. Benny Montresor, who designed the sets that another distinguished critic called imaginative, atmospheric, and handsome. To these gentlemen, our thanks for joining us today on Camera 3.